Daddy. Grandpa and Grandma Branham with Uncle Donnie and Aunt Dolores. The Branham boys in a swimming hole. Doc and Jesse in the water. Charles, Henry, and Donnie on the bank. When Daddy was a young boy, he fought in the Golden Gloves. Then he went professional and won 15 straight fights. He said the first night that he met the Lord Jesus that it finished his fighting career. I love the story Daddy told about this picture of him killing a bear with his knife. People would ask him, "Billy, wasn't you afraid of that bear?" "Nope. If I'd been afraid of him, he'd killed me." Sister Hope. When Daddy was about 23 or 24 years old, he met Hope. He said she was a very lovely Christian girl with a sweet, humble character. Daddy and Sister Hope on their honeymoon. The young man with Daddy and Sister Hope is her brother. If you look real close, you'll see the gun that is tucked in Daddy's pants. In other words, don't mess with me. My big brother is born September 13th, 1935. Our baby sister, Sharon Rose. Dad said he couldn't call her Rosa Sharon, so he'd just call her Sharon Rose. One day I'll see her, and she'll be a beautiful young woman. My mom, Mita Marie. Mom and Dad were married October 22nd, 1941. Mom used to tell me all the time, I never knew any difference between Billy and you kids. He always seemed like my own baby. Daddy told us, I've been both mother and daddy to Billy, and we've been chums together, and he stuck with me. So everywhere I go, I take Billy. My sisters, Rebecca and Sarah.
I want to tell you about little Sarah and Rebecca. So the next morning I couldn't sleep, and I got up, was sitting in the chair, and after a while, Becky being the oldest, she had longer legs than Sarah, and so Becky come running, woke up, jumped out of bed, not waking her little sister up, and here she come through the house running as hard as she could. She's saying, "Daddy, Daddy." I stuck out one of my legs, and she jumped across there pretty well balanced, kind of like the modern church, it's been in the game for a long time, for several hundred years. She could balance herself right well, and she put her arms around me and said, "Oh, my daddy, my daddy." And little Sarah had, in the commotion, woke up. Well, I don't know what your children does, they're not mine does. The younger one gets the hand-me-downs. And so Sarah had on Becky's pajamas, feet about that much too long, and here she come, little bitty short fella, falling, stumbling, and she got there a little late. So Becky turned around and said, "Sarah, my sister, I want to tell you something." She said, "I was here first, and I have the monopoly, so I've got all of Daddy, and there's none left for you." That's the way some people try to think about religion, isn't it? That's right. And poor little Sarah, she dropped her little lip, her little black eyes looked up at me, and she started to cry. And Becky had her cheek against mine, hugging me. I love her. And Sarah started to walk away because Becky had all of Daddy. I screwed the other knee out like this and motioned to her like that. Oh, she perked up right quick and jumped up on my knee. So she hadn't been around very long, and her legs wouldn't even reach the floor. She was kind of a little tottery, perhaps like I am. Just a little tottery, you know, and she couldn't reach the floor. She wasn't a big denomination, you know, and so she couldn't get down on the solid floor. She hadn't been around long enough. And so she was kind of tottering, and I threw both arms around her like this and hugged her up close to me, and she sparkled those little black eyes and looked back to Rebecca. She said, "Rebecca, my sister," she said, "it may be true that you've got all of Daddy, but I want you to know one thing, Daddy's got all of me."
The doctors told Mother she could die if she had another baby. She asked Dad, "Do you think I'll die?" Daddy told her, "I don't know if you'll die, but the baby's going to be born. You're going to have Joseph." May 19th, 1955, I was born. Isn't Mother's hair beautiful? One day while riding in the car with my daddy, I told him, "I sure like that preaching, Daddy." He said, "Well, I got one fan. That was me." Lois become a Branham. Daddy said, "Not because she's my daughter-in-law, but she's one of the finest girls I know of. She's a dandy." Now we can all see why Billy didn't like to take Lois fishing. One day leaving a meeting, the Lord spoke to Daddy and said, "Lois, you'll bear a son. The Lord has blessed you. Your female trouble is gone." Little Paul was born 9 months later. One morning eating breakfast, Daddy had another vision. He told Billy he saw Lois feeding another baby. 11 months later, David was born. Daddy told us Jesus had a sense of humor. So did Daddy. Here he is acting like he's drinking hot coffee straight out of the coffee pot. That's Brother Roberson behind the truck. I bet he saw his daddy doing something like that. Somebody's going to get a whooping. Glad it wasn't me. Draw, partner. One of the few vacations we had together, but I'm sure there was a caravan of people not far behind. Daddy giving a toast at Christmas dinner. You see, I had to sit close to Mom so I'd behave myself. George become part of the family. Even when we tried to eat out as a family, there was always someone that wanted to speak to Daddy, but he always had time for everyone. This is in Jerry's restroom after a service. Sweethearts.
Brown family. They go to her. She's the one who deserves it. She stands between me and the public, 37 years old, almost completely whited. And a real mother, sweetheart, wife. I trust that all of you boys, when you get married, you get a wife like God gave you. And I'm so happy for her and her children. Billy Paul, little Rebecca, Sarah, and little baby Joseph. We greet you all, and we thank you for your kindness.
Shalom, si este video fue de bendición para tu vida, dale me gusta, compártelo, y suscríbete a nuestro canal de YouTube. Dios os guarde, amado hermano y hermana.
Quiero amarte, Señor, y sentir la paz excelsa de tu amor. Quiero ser